And in the coming years, we're aiming for at least 50 billion cubic meters per year. And this we're aiming for at least 50 billion significant. And on top, our investment will also pave the way for the deployment of green energy, because the infrastructure that we use for gas today and that we are investing in can also be used for clean hydrogen in the future. This agreement with the United States was a positive development ahead of the leaders' discussion on energy this morning. And this is my last remark. We looked at various options to cushion the impact of high energy prices on consumers and businesses. Measures such as income support or state aid, vouchers, reduced taxation, price caps, modulating prices, contracts for difference, etc. All options we presented have pros and cons. But first and foremost, we need to look at the root causes of high electricity prices, and this is in big part high and volatile gas prices. The energy mix and concrete situation in our member states is very different, but we need to work together to pull our weight. And this is why I advocated for a strong European approach. If we look at the gas market, the pipeline gas market, 75% of the global pipeline gas market is the European market. So we have an enormous purchasing power. And therefore, I welcome that we will now use our collective bargaining power. Instead of outbidding each other and driving prices up, we will pool our demand. In addition, we must complete pipeline infrastructure and ramp up our storage and the interconnectors. We proposed a minimum storage of 80% underground for next winter, rising to 90% then in the following years. This will be our insurance policy against supply disruption. But it is also time to look at the design of our energy market. You know this topic. This is the question of decoupling the gas price from the overall electricity price. We will present options for that in May. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. We'll just take a couple of questions because it's been a long day. Silvia Martinez, please come to the stand if you can.
I wanted to ask you, one of the biggest demands from Spain has been the decoupling, and they have asked for a special treatment because of the situation of the Iberian Peninsula regarding the interconnection. Are they going to get this I don't know, exception they are asking for? And how do you see the possibility for them, just for Portugal and Spain, to fix their own price cap? Thank you.
So yes, we discussed that intensively, and indeed the Iberian Peninsula has a very special situation. There the energy mix is with a high load of renewables. This is very good, and with very few interconnections only. And therefore we agreed on a special treatment that is possible for the Iberian Peninsula, so that the Iberian Peninsula can deal with this very specific situation they are in and manage the electricity prices in the way that we have been discussing at the Council.
Andy, from the Financial Times, please.
Good evening. You both mentioned the need to close sanctions loopholes and make sure they're effective. Now, the US is talking today about taking secondary sanctions. So, in other words, sanctioning entities and companies in third countries that are circumventing EU and US sanctions. Is that a route that the EU is looking to go down?
We had yesterday a very good debate with President Biden, but also in the framework of the G7 on the sanctions. First element, we have taken unprecedented sanctions. It's the fourth package of sanctions, and we are working now to implement those sanctions, point one. Point two, we are aware that there are some loopholes that are possible, and that's why we've tasked the Commission to make sure that we are able to close as much as possible those loopholes. And point three, we understand also it's important to engage with third countries in order to advocate, to sensibilize third countries for them to follow the same approach on sanctions. And we are convinced that the sanctions we've decided are painful. This was our common goal. We want to be painful for the Kremlin, and we are also ready to maintain our efforts and to see if it is needed together with our partners to take additional measures.
As you know, we have been very closely coordinating with our friends, allies and partners to shape and tailor these sanctions, because our economic systems are not identical but different, and we wanted to have the same effect. This was and is successful, so we have an enormous impact by these sanctions that are applied by way over 40 countries by now, that represent more than half of the global GDP. So this is really substantial. And therefore, as we have different systems, but the same goal with the sanctions, we agreed now to really look deep into the loopholes we discover now, or the circumventions that some try to take, and to do everything within their own respective system to close the loopholes and to make the circumventions impossible.
Thank you, Madam President and Mr. President. Keep an eye out. We're going to publish the conclusions very shortly. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye. C'était short. Ils sont claqués.
Agenda et dans un contexte que chacun mesure, puisqu'il y a un mois.